our way out and put this darkness behind us. And underground is my oration, sound integration. But situation is we're surrounded by light negation. It's black as pitch cause we're trapped by our violent souls. In a deep mind where deep rhymes won't keep my self-control. Too many foes, we feel snake bit and we won't take it. Enemies need their face hit, we going ape shit.
Hell is my confinement within this mind. Now trapped and enshrined by my own mind.
Shoot through these tunnels and keep it moving, no knuckle dragging. It's like a jungle, etc. Keep zigging and zagging. These lizards ready to fire in military attire. Heaters, cannons, entire arsenals, bangers for hire. We only got double barrels, but we don't monkey with them. Just throw shots and we hit them to this industrial rhythm. Still searching for the light, still more to fight. Still at war with our plight, but still we're sure of our own collective might.
Hell is my confinement within this mind. Now trapped and enshrined by my own mind. Hell is my confinement within this mind. No way out, we're running out of time.
Time to get fractious, we practice guerrilla tactics. Regular G's can't match this, so why they trying to attack us? I'm a bad boy like Diddy, but I ain't talking Sean John, cause it's on like Son of Khan. Gots to get our chimp on, that means we simply simulate simians simultaneously. And all y'all snakes beastin' to kill us is living dangerously. Straight bananas is the conflict these opponents hand us. So battle status, in these catacombs we got no manners.
All I know is pain to give the same. All I have ingrained is hate. Misery of shame forever will remain. So I must regain my faith.
Threats come relentless in this zoo. No one defends us, and they won't commend us when we're through. It don't matter, cause I'm after something resembling peace. I get madder every other day that this shit don't cease. Since our conception, downward has been my life's direction. Had no protection from evil factions and predilections. Heart of a killer, gorilla, pillar of coffin fillers. Nothing vanilla about us, true thriller, minute gorillas. Our main position, this mission, is to improve conditions, and it's our own volition. We ain't looking for permission. Vanish from our position like we're magicians. In addition, our plan to see freedom's light comes to fruition.
Hell is my confinement within this mind. Now trapped and enshrined by my own mind. Hell is my confinement within this mind. No way out, we're running out of time.
Taking it, we going ape shit. We ain't taking it. Yeah, we going ape shit. We going ape shit. We going ape shit. We going ape shit.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect, back with you once again. How you doing? How you feeling? How are you doing this late evening here live on this, on this Thursday evening, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of things, a lot of stuff here, a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of interesting stuff that's coming. All the stuff here. But first, let's talk about, well, Nintendo. Nintendo has been, well, let's look at this, the bad PR they have been doing. Because the Switch 2, which I like, I do, and I plan to get it. But this type of stuff, the PR here, well, never mind. This right here is, look at this thing. You can't afford a Switch 2? The Nintendo executive, the North American, the Nintendo of America president, Doug Bowser says, basically says this. It says that there are people that might be able to afford to switch to price point. That's why we wanted to make other Switch platforms available, so people have the opportunity to come to our gaming universe, be a part of the characters in our worlds, and you see value, if you will, in whatever rung in the platform they come in. So yeah, and it does basically comes right back here a couple years ago. And by the way, during this whole situation with Don Matrix saying, well, saying this, yes, remember fortunately we have a product who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360. What did the disconnects here? And not only you have a $450 console or now 800 games, 80 games, well, 800 whatever, but the inflation finally hitting it. It's just that the price is going to be plus the tariffs and such. But yeah, this is going to be the Switch 2 is going to be a Japanese console. It's going to be $343. So there's going to probably be a Switch Lite soon, but yeah, they are getting hit by the tariffs. But also, when you have $80 games, when you have this, but yet here we are. This goes right back to the old days of the 90s of, the games and everything else. But here's the difference between the 90s and now. A lot of differences. One of the main differences, and there's a couple. One, jobs and the economy was a lot more functionable. They actually felt like you had a chance to get a home, you had a chance to get like a house, all that type of stuff. Once you had like at least you graduated high school or college, you had the chance to actually have hey, you can settle down with someone you really loved or cared for. Now you can't at this point. Even if you did college, you do all this stuff right. You're getting priced out. You're gonna get a shot to basically have any money and everything else. It is that type of it's so hard to get, not just have a job but keep a job, and not just have a like apartment or a house. It's hard to get nowadays. There's no way to really settle and such. And then the 80 games, it will pretty much be in that situation. It's this horrible situation that is not Nintendo's doing. It's not the video game industry as such. It is goes back to the Trump and not just Trump, but also all the the way that this is the United States, by the way, of these the mix of banks and you can say corporations as well, but not Nintendo or maybe somewhere EA or something like that. But I'm talking like big picture. These corporations who just there's no jobs anymore. They pick the cheaper stuff, go to other countries and cheap labor and everything else. Now you have this stuff, banks buying out all the homes and everything, and there's not much really here. In fact, that's what it is. And now you have the people right now who have no money, and combined with the fact of the tariffs that going to cost anymore. Here comes Nintendo with this. It's going to be $80 games, a $450 console, $80 games, and and Lord forbid you want to have, like, for example, the Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade of let me see if I can find the thing. Let's see. Let's see where. Oh gosh. Um, you have to get a certain two like updates for for the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's going to be a lot harder. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be really, really hard. Um, that sort of stuff. It's going to be a very hard, and it's going to be your way of connecting people. It's just hard to really get people back in, to buy these games, to keep these games, and not just that. What are you going to do to download this stuff? You have to be a Nintendo Switch Online thing, and it's all confusing. And it's frustrating because there are some people who do want to get the new stuff. They want to join in, but that price point, $80 games, and with this person pretty much saying that, look, you can just go and get a Nintendo Switch, buddy. That's the problem. That's going to be the issue. You can't afford it, and now you have the same thing. And now this is another issue of the gaming industry, $80 games. And the fact, let me just see if I can get the Nintendo. Let's see. Let's see. Download. I think there was a thing about let's see, Switch 2 games. Let's see. Let's see. Here this right here. Um, the physical. Let me see this from Eurogamer that they pretty much are saying Nintendo confirms some Switch 2 physical releases will have a download key. And at that point, do you really own the game? Physical copies and such, which is, this is an issue. And like I said, I truly believe that, I'm for like a both thing, but also physical copies do degrade over time and they take up space. And, you can only hold so much for your games and such. So yeah, I think you should move them to a digital a digital place. But the real issue is that if it's going to be a digital game key, do they really own the product? Do you own the product which you buy on a digital service? In some cases, I think there was these are the issues we have now. And then you look what happened to Sony. Let's see. Let's see. I think it was let's see this. I know this happened, and I know this is something. Here we are. This right here. This right here. This is from Arcs, Texas, and such. Right here, when they're erasing all these shows from customer libraries. This right here will be erased before 2024. This is um but yeah, they say right here the update is that they will no longer those. You bought and did all these type of stuff like, hey, I bought this. Guess what? Swoop, it's gone. This right here, if you don't really buy it, I mean, at what point, if you put your money in it, you bought the show and you had all the other stuff in there, then if someone can come in and take it from your own, stuff, or your, expect they watched it with your own money and such. I mean, you might not care for these shows. You might not care for Wives with Knives or Idiot Abroad or all these other shows, reality shows, or anything else, or Mythbusters or something. Guess what happens? These shows, Stark Week, Say Yes to the Jets, Cake Boss, like the Mythbusters. They were just gone, even after you bought them. So what does that tell you? What does that mean when you do have this digital service and such? Who and I wonder what is going to be. This is going to get to the Supreme Court in the United States. I think this is going to happen, and these licensing agreements doesn't. And then when someone can say, "Yeah, nope, we don't want this anymore," and just take that from you, what do you do? That's going to be the real hard questions. And when you add to this and all this other stuff that's going on in town, you got this here. Then you have you add this to then you look at this, again, like I said, talk about this subject here. You got Nintendo will be only physical releases a download key. This is what also you're gonna have. And then when you have this, add up all of this, plus you can't afford the whole thing and switch to, and basically saying, just keep your Nintendo Switch as you need to be and such, which is basically, repeating the same thing of Don Matrick all those years ago, what this article says. This does hurt the Switch 2's capability, because I like the Switch 2. It looks pretty cool. Playing GameCube games on the go, awesome. Doing all this stuff is great. I mean, playing one of the best, Zelda games, Wind Waker. I loved it back then. I still have my GameCube right there. I have my GameCube, and such. I still have my GameCube, and I still have the Wind Waker, and I got the Wind Waker HD collection too. I just need to get a new Wii U controller, because Wii U controllers are getting a little bit old. The stuff. I need to fix that Rumble stuff feature. But overall, I still love the Wii U control, even though it's frustrating. Oh, let me just see if I can get this. Gosh, I remember this. Thank you, Surf Shark. Let's turn it off. But yeah, like I said, like I said, this is a way of Nintendo's not doing a good job with PR, and I think that's one of the main issues with the PR in Nintendo Switch, and about building that stuff up. What and then what can they do? But have again, I wish they could just look and say, okay, if I was them, I would just be like, okay, knock the price down to like $400, and I think the games is gonna happen. They've been fighting this. The $80 game thing has been here. I think it's finally going to happen anyway, because quite frankly, it was this thing. The video games industry has been doing this dance probably since 2000, and probably about 2001 and 2002. Like the games were 40, 50, now 60, and now 70 in some places. But yeah, this was going to happen eventually. The days of the $50 game is over. It's been over, and I think the $50 to $60 games is over. And if they were, and I think Nintendo, is probably going to be, at least with Nintendo games, at least there's actually going to be a full game there. For the most part, it's going to be, at least there's going to be stuff there already in there, and it looks like Nintendo. I mean, Super Mario Kart World at least will have like stuff there, so you don't have to worry about it. And Donkey Kong Bonanza looks like it's going to be fun, so I have all that stuff into it, so it doesn't have to worry about like glitches or whatever. The only one I worry about is the new Pokemon game, because the Pokemon games, the 3D Pokemon stuff, whoo boy, that is horrible. So yeah, I think that's one thing. My hope, but that is always my hope, is that they can get it right. But who knows? I don't know what this. Like I said, the solution is keeping, maybe knock the price down, knock the Switch, stuff like that. And if you want to do $80 games, if the industry wants to, do $80 games and all that fun stuff, my solution is, and such like that, is wait till the economy is actually good and actually doable to have $80 games. And when they do the $80 game dance, make sure the games are finished. They're done, especially the single player. The single player games are done. There's no bing, bang, we got to do this. No, the games are done. You don't have to be half-baked crap and you're fixed up and have, we have a year plus edition, so you can get all the stuff anyway. That's the game is actually finished. No, games need to be, taken care of. Like, okay, give instead of spending trillions of dollars on like AI stuff and 4K or whatever, get a good team together. Don't abuse them. Don't do all the usual stuff for these things. Don't do crunch. Actually say, you know what? We're gonna make sure these gamers, these people who make the games, and have enough time to finish the product. Uh, and if you need to do a trailer or whatever, then make sure the product is not like 3 or 4 years away. Do it when it's like a year away, if not maybe sooner. That's what I believe is best for, well, as one would say, best for business, is to basically make sure the product is there sooner rather than later in people's hands. Make it a complete product, right? If it's good, bad, or different. Because, the people in the indie scene are doing great, but, I think you need to return of the mid-market games badly. This industry needs the mid-market games. If they don't get the mid-market games soon, you're going to see a complete and total. There will be another crash. Nintendo will probably be fine, but I think you look at what's happening with Sony and Microsoft. They're going into the clouds or whatever. They're going over there in multi-platform, and I worry because if Nintendo's the number one dog again, it's going to be a very what is their competition going to be? It's just going to be PC versus Nintendo, and that's it. And that's a shame thing. That's a daggone shame, But that's just my personal opinion. I want to hear what your thoughts are. Leave something in the comment section below. Thank you for the likes and all that good stuff. Subscribe, like, and comment below. Let me know. And we'll be right back right after this because, oh boy, thinking about things that are failing and everything else. We're going to talk about AEW. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a very, very interesting conversation. We'll be right back here live on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much. Again. Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah, that's good. And there it is. By the way, the Capitals just came back 4-2. People were panicking. And there it is. And now everyone needs to relax. Everyone needs to relax. We need to relax, by the way. So relax, folks. That's at the end of the day. That should be it. Anyway. Oh, by the way, before we get to that, there's more Nintendo Switch stuff. Oh gosh. 3 new Genesis games, if you remember. It's gonna be whoa. Oh goodness. Eastward Under Siege, Streets of Rage, and Super Thunderblade. There's gonna be some stuff tonight. I'm gonna be playing some of that tonight. Oh yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna be staying some Streets of Rage. Maybe I'll stream that. If you want me to stream Streets of Rage, leave some in the comments. Anyway, I'm gonna be doing that. Anyway, I'll be right back right after this here live on the Dukect Lounge. And thank you so much for listening to me, Dukect. We're right back right after this.
Rather chillin' in the lab, equation pen and a pad, meditate on the universe down to an atomic mass. To diss me would be crass, opposition comes in last. Yeah, we straight from the sewer, but y'all ninjas just trash. You gotta be out your mind trying to mess with the team. A warrior keeps it chill, calm and serene, till a villain pops up in the civilian's path, and I step in and play whack-a-mole with my bow staff. Late night heroes, bright lights of the city, cruising in that turtle van, and I got the whole crew with me. Lasers on the roof, computers in the back, hooked up by yours truly. Shredder, where you at? Divide the pie, subtract the whack, add the fact that we hold it down in every city on the map. Multiply by the brain power I possess. That's a recipe for success. Yes.
I do it, I need to have fun. I do it, control that gun. I can make it time running over everyone. You know this face, you seen it on the Tizoo, reporting on the issues, the saga continues. There's a whole slew of people chasing after me. Further than the eye can see, it runs in the family. Blocking and knocking these haters out with my click. All we need is some kicks, cause we do's it like this. Shower you with our turtle power, any given day, any given hour. But ninja wanna start some drama, Leo go to work with your katana, watch him. Slice it and dice it up, tell your homeboys better beware. Here comes Michelangelo with the shucks, send you running straight back to your lair. Ooh, join on up with Donnie and Ralph, take a little ride, we'll head out south. On the red line or on a damn rhyme. Won't you step up, don't make us have to go off. Don't make this harder than it has to be. Take us to your leader, we gon' shred him like he wants to be. I do it, I need to have fun. I do it, control that gun. I can make it time running over everyone.
I dominate the landscape from video games to fame. Across the range of America, the Great Plains. Chicago sewers got less rats than back home. What would you do if you lived under the thrones? Yeah, I had to move, cause the groove was lost in New York. The foot soldiers a dork, so I moved and got a new sport. And now I'm staining milks on a magnificent mile. Extra deep dish style, but once in a while I recall giant balls falling downstairs. But I ain't scared, I got my ninja powers and I'm always prepared. Don't stare, I might be a little green, but you'll be envious of my fighting machine. Skills, pills, I never pop. I keep my body hot, I can cold cock any robot on the block. Stop the presses, my bros are swinging by in the van. It's pizza time, so fork rinds, label what's crammed.
The path that leads to what we truly are is long and difficult. But only by following that path do we achieve our goal.
I do it, I need to have fun. I do it, control that gun. I can make it time running over everyone.
Red chucks on, nose ring swanky, purple mohawk with some shades for the framing, Benz in my framing, thieves for the Franklin, call steady rock, hit the blocks in the bank, and
unlike the Brady's grenades, it's a statement to blow a few holes in my foes, leave them stankin'. Moves in arrangement, hoofs hit the pavement, clan in the van, crew armed and we dangerous. Swerve through the lanes and gotta start gunning. Cops on our ass through the roof, start busting. Start puffing, mash on the gas as I ash on the dash, bouncing bombs off the glass. Clink from the scraps, made it sound like a rap. Sweat on my horn, dabbed it off with a scrap. Turned to my right, all I heard was a tap. A sigh in my grill, green toes in my lap.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for sticking with me, Dukect. It is a very, everyone has a bit of a, issues and everything else. A lot of people Dynasty. There was some good stuff on Dynasty. That sort of stuff. Some good things and some bad stuff. But, let's see if I can get this pictures and everything else. Gosh, Kim's. Well, let's see. Well, I can do this. Well, this is on the site, so I think it's probably good enough to do it. So let's just do it. All right. Sharing. Share the screen. And there we are. Can't get the pictures up there for some reason, but all right. Anyway, this, my friends, the Death Riders storyline. Oh, Dynasty. The good, the bad. It was a good show. It was a good show, and I liked it. Then the main event. Well, I thought the main event was actually, starting really good. They got second gear, third gear. You had all the interference and everything else. It looks at it. I mean, heck, you got the dead eye by and such. It looks like it could happen. There's something that Swerve is gonna do it. Swerve is gonna finally be champion, and then you two idiots. Oh, those young bucks. Oh Lord, the young bucks. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You know, and I'm just gonna say this. I was humped by doing this. Maybe they're gonna try to just drag this Death Riders thing for months and months until either. I thought it was gonna be Darby coming back and climbing his thing, which a lot of people think it's gonna happen at Wrestle Dream. That was my two options. Swerve wins it here, or he loses it at then he wins it to Wrestle Dream. But now this stuff here, it just confirms that pretty much it looks like it is. But then again, maybe Will Ospreay is gonna do it, which I wouldn't be. Oh, I would be fine with Will Ospreay and such. I'll be fine with it. But I'm like, man, I want Swerve. I wanted Swerve. I wanted Swerve to actually just get that cool stuff there. Because, hey, a Swerve versus, then again, if I really want to go for you, I wanted Powerhouse Hobbs. I wanted Powerhouse Hobbs to beat Moxley and just have Moxley, rematch at Revolution. Hell, make it a three-way with him, Edge, Cope. Yeah, no, G Nation. Yeah, 3 more months of this. Oh, God. Yeah, 3 more months. Until otherwise, I hate that. But I was wanting to have Cope. My thing is this. Powerhouse Hobbs beats Moxley at that Dynamite. Then he faces Cope and Moxley in a 3-way, and he stacks him. Like how Roman did. Then you have Swerve versus Powerhouse. I think that'd be good. Or him and Ricochet. I don't know. Do that. Maybe do build that up. I mean, you can have Powerhouse Hobbs beat Swerve. Have him dominate and win. I don't know against. Let's see who's available. I don't know. Let's see. Mark Briscoe. I don't know. Have him. Maybe have him face Jericho and have him beat him in 2 minutes. And then that sets up for him versus Brian Keefe or something like that. Just have him hold that belt until after All In, and maybe hold that to Wrestle Dynasty. You can have the return of Jay White beating him or something, and have Jay White versus Darby at Revolution or something. You can do that. You could do something like that. Have Hobbs. That would have been a big star moment. That would be nice. Wouldn't that be great? Powerhouse Hobbs in that main event. A Swerve in that main event. Instead, it's Death Riders, and oh Lord, we're gonna keep going over and over and over again. And now we got the Young Bucks here, which is, by the way, they basically were the ones behind everything with the Death Riders. So yeah, that's what they were doing, and that's what it is. And I'm like, fine. I just hope this is over with, and then we can all move on. Because everything else in Dynasty, I liked. There are some stuff here. And there it is. It does. At the end of the day, it's drawing numbers. In fact, combined with Max's streaming and the numbers on recently over 600,000, they're getting over 1 million people watching the show. So guess what, man? We're going to be just sitting back here. But at least I'll say this. Once the Death Riders are done, there's not going to be a Death Riders wolf pack. There won't be a Death Riders elite. There won't be a Death Riders version 3.0 or whatever. Because I feel like once this is done, it's done. But you know what? It is that frustrating part of it. and I really wanted. But yeah, here's the thing: there was a lot of stuff here. I mean, Dukect. By the way, the Swerve and Static Shock thing. This is probably the closest thing we ever get to a Static Shock movie or anything in live action. How sad is that, people? But anyway, get on that, James Gunn. Anyway, but there's other stuff there. I mean, the three-way was great. This was actually pretty good as well. Bandito thing was nice. It just lasted too long. I think could have done either. I mean, the Protostar and Mark Briscoe, good stuff here too. Surprise victory by Tony Storm. I think they're leaning up to maybe Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné. Maybe that's going to be the big thing at All In, which I wouldn't mind that. That's a big match. You say that's not a big match, but that is the big match right there. I know people love Athena, but that is the depth of the women's division. You can have so many major matches. That's depth, real depth, and I think that's good. And also, Cope getting killed by FDR. So yeah, and Death Riders. I hope Pac is not as injured as he says he is and such. I hope he's healthy and such. And also Kevin Knight versus Will Ospreay. Great stuff. I think Kevin Knight is someone good, and I think him. They still have the TV title thing, if I remember watching Ring of Honor. Him and AR Fox were tied for the TV or for no one contendership for a TV championship match because the time limit expired. So, are they going to come back to that? Because I think if they do come back to that, I think that would be a great way to have a nice do a three-way dance at Supercard of Honor with Kevin Knight versus AR Fox versus Commander, and just let them go basically act like it's basically WCW 1997-98 and just have one hell of a match. Oh yeah, it's dead. The Blade movie's gone. That Blade movie is dead. We all need to realize that. Yeah, the Blade movie is gone. The Blade movie is gone, and it's and I blamed all that on Kevin Feige, man. Couldn't do all this stuff, man. So yeah. It's just like that. It's just all messed up. But yeah, overall, like I said, Dynasty was good. The only real bad match I think this was decent. It got better later, and I think at the end of the day, I think Julia Hart is good, but she's young. She will probably get better at time. So yeah, I think after a year, 2 years from now, I think Julia Hart will be that next level women's competitor. But yeah, overall, I said Dynasty was a good thing. Was good, but yet the main event is just dragging. But maybe that's the internet, and I could be wrong. But yet that's the issue of AEW is that they have like 10, they go 5 feet forward, they go 10, they go like, man, they got all this stuff. All the divisions are popping. But the problem is, well, it's always something. I'll just one of these days the main event is going to do it. One of these days, they're going to get everything. It's going to be clicking into the right cylinders. And then, but then if that does happen, the grifters will probably have to find something else to talk about. Oh, gosh, there's going to be something else for the grifters to do. But anyway, yeah, I think it's 6 out of 5. Fair. I think that's a fair thing. But the ending and the length, too. It started at like 6 o'clock, the pre-show. Ended at midnight. Okay. There needs to be a discussion about how long these shows at AEW had. They need to cut some of this stuff down because it drives me crazy. In fact, the only time I watched a live pay-per-view that was really good and not worry about the time constraints was when I was in Vegas a couple years back for Double or Nothing. I'm like, it's on the East Coast. It's on the West Coast, baby. I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, hey, I can still go out and get something to eat. But if I do that like the East Coast, I'm like, the only thing I can get something maybe a 7-Eleven or something, even or a Denny's. But yeah, the length is too long, and it's still, like I said, people saying it's the worst. I'm like, no, it's not. The worst AEW show, pay-per-view, World's End 2023, no debate about it. The card was just so bad. It was like the only two good matches were the old guys, and everything else felt like everything was just terrible. That show was bad. Bad. And I just did not like it. It was probably one of the worst shows, and it took a while for them to get back on their feet. So yeah, overall, like I said, I hope Pac is good. I hope he if he does everything else. And oh yeah, Saturdays, yes. And then they could do Collision like on Fridays or Thursdays, whenever. I think that should be it. Pay-per-views on Saturdays and such. I agree. But that is that's not going to happen for AEW for a while. So the next one is All In. Hopefully I get to go to All In. If I do, I'm trying to go the whole week. They're trying to do a WrestleMania type week. They're going to have StarCast. They're going to have all the other shows a little around it. So that's the hope. I was going to try to go to the Friday show of New Japan thing over in Chicago, but a lot of stuff happened, so I couldn't do that. But then, you know what? Next year, I truly do. I want to do that next year because I was just like, yeah, I can do that and have a little bit of fun too. That's the hope. But anyway, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thank you for listening, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. Anyway, peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.